Well, this is my second time today doing a TikTok live. That has not ever happened. I haven't ever done two lives, my fingers, two lives in one day. Uh, this one is called Responding to an Atheist. My previous titles have been Responding to Atheists, but this one is Responding to an Atheist. It was interesting. It happened on YouTube. I posted a video about a earthquake. There was an article that said scientists have confirmed the biblical earthquake, the one that's talked about in Matthew, when Jesus dies on the cross. Then the curtain in the temple is torn in two, and an earthquake happens. And I got a lot of atheists, both on TikTok and YouTube. Usually YouTube, really nothing. Maybe a few people respond, say it's a good video, and then move on with their day. Atheists really don't respond too much on YouTube. A lot of times it's TikTok. But this one atheist, he had tons of questions, and I looked at it and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna make this a video. I tried replying back to his comment, and when I hit submit or reply, it vanished. It vanished. I did some research on this, and it said that YouTube sometimes flags certain comments. Um, I don't know why. I didn't say why, but sometimes YouTube flags certain comments, and or it's under review, and that's that pretty much. So I took it as a sign, as what, maybe this is God telling me to make a video so a lot of people can see it. Many people could be tune into it, and I will be answering this person's question, but also answering other people's questions. But also people, Christians and even atheists, can see it, can watch it. They can decide. I tried to post the first video on here on TikTok, but it was over an hour, and TikTok said videos over an hour cannot be posted. So I got a timer here. I just set it for 55 minutes, and I will go ahead and I will read this person's comments. Probably not going to read all of them because, like I said, I got to keep it under an hour for TikTok, but I'm going to read a good majority, a very good majority. So what I'm going to do, oh yeah, and I got a stand for my phone, because I always hold my phone, and it kind of shakes sometimes. I got a stand for my phone. Some people said that it seems a little muffled here in the audio, but I tested it. I tested it before going live, and yeah. Well, so let's go on to these questions that this atheist had, and we'll see if we can answer them. I like how I like how he introduced, his opening, his introduction. That's what I'm trying to say. His introduction. He says, "Part 8. Wow. So I probably shouldn't jump in now, huh? Of course, that's not going to stop me." I like that because that is something that I would say. If I saw a video, a previous recorded video, previous live video, I would probably say the exact same thing. So it was a good opener, got my attention, and yeah, that's good. So he puts what I said in the video. It says, what I said, it got a lot of attention by atheists. And then he replied, sure, that's just how YouTube works. If you put atheist or atheism in the title or description of your video, atheists are likely to see it. Actually, it was TikTok. TikTok, like I said, a lot of people reply on TikTok. YouTube, not so much. So yeah, it wasn't YouTube, it was TikTok. But at the same time, I'm glad he replied. I'm glad he asked a lot of questions, even though a lot of them are against the Bible, against God. That's what I do. I like answering questions. Answering questions, and also helping Christians knowing how to answer these questions, defend against these questions. So moving on, he says, he put what I said in the video, says, an earthquake happened around the time, pointing more to the Bible being true. He said, yeah, a previous commenter already pointed out how wrong that thinking is, so I'll just add that books don't even work that way. If a book gets something right, that means nothing at all. which is funny because people have been reading books for thousands of years. Like that was the source of information and still is today. Yes, we use a lot of uh, stuff like YouTube, TikTok, our phones, television, all that, but uh, a lot of our information comes from books, comes from writing. And he's saying that books, they don't says something that means nothing. He's saying that books that means nothing. I mean, keep going. It says that means nothing at all, but about the next thing it says. After all, and then he said, then he starts. Then he says, after all, Abraham Lincoln. Actually, let me just start over with that. It says, yeah, a previous commenter already pointed out how wrong that thinking is. So I'll just add that books don't even work that way. If a book gets something right, that means nothing at all about the next thing it says. After all, Abraham Lincoln, vampire hunter, gets lots of things right about the life and times of the former president, but that still does not. That's still not good evidence that vampires are real. In my opinion, him trying to compare the Bible to a Hollywood movie is not even a comparison. I mean, it's like trying to compare fruit with cookies. They're both food. We both eat them. They have things in common, but you could definitely tell the difference between the both of them. Your body will definitely tell the difference between both of them. You eat too many cookies, you're not going to feel good. You eat too much fruit, it's going to be good for a good while. Your body actually might thank you. So comparing Abraham Lincoln, the vampire hunter, to the Bible, yeah, I would even say that is even a good comparison, especially when it comes to Hollywood. Hollywood is about entertainment. Hollywood is about money. They make good movies. Yes, they make good movies, but they do it because they want money out of it. They want really good money. In a movie, yes, may get a lot of things right, even if it says based on a true story. If it says based on a true story, there's still stuff added in that movie that is wrong, that didn't happen. It's just for entertainment. For instance, I heard that that movie Elvis, that recently came out just a few years ago. They got a lot of stuff right on that, but one part that I heard was wrong. It was just for entertainment. Is when Elvis is on stage and he's yelling at his promoter, the guy that Tom Hanks played, his manager, and the curtains come down and Elvis is yelling, blaming him for being just a bad person, and he's doing it in front of the crowd. I heard that they just put that in for entertainment. What really happened, what I researched, because a lot of people were talking about that, saying that didn't happen. So I looked up what happened, and he fired his manager in private. Elvis fired his manager in private. Did that happen? I don't know, but according to what I researched, no, what they put in the movie did not happen. That was just entertainment purposes. So making a comparison by using Abraham Lincoln, the vampire hunter, something Hollywood, a Hollywood movie, and really it's just for entertainment. That's a bad comparison. All right. And then he goes on, he says, earthquakes. Oh, I went a little too far. Let me go back up. Okay. He says, earthquakes are natural, normal, and relatively common in that region. No God required. Okay. I never said that God made the earthquake. Can God make the earthquake? Yes, God can make the earthquake. But did God make the earthquake? No, he didn't make the earthquake. As far as I know, what happens is Luke, the book of Matthew just recorded what happened. Well, what happened? Jesus died on the cross. The curtain was torn in two and an earthquake happened. That's it. That's all. That's what was recorded. Okay. He says, no God required, but how about all those zombies who supposedly popped out of their tombs and wandered around Jerusalem? That's not natural. Okay, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. So what he wants to know about is in the book of Matthew, it talks about how the curtain, after Christ died, the curtain was torn in two, the earthquake happened, and the bodies of the saints rose up and went into the city. And he calls them zombies. Okay, well, zombies are not alive. The Bible specifically says in the bodies of the saints that were in the tombs were filled with life, and rose from their tombs and went into the city. Okay, so so if the Bible is saying that they came to life, well, then that's not a zombie. A zombie is doesn't have life. It's dead, or the undead, whatever you want to call it. So, not zombies there. Um, and he says, who supposedly popped out of their tombs and wandered into Jerusalem. Yes, and they wandered into Jerusalem. He says that there's no evidence there's zero evidence to actually that actually happened. Well, the Bible actually kind of gives the evidence in the description. It says that when Jesus passed, the bodies of the saints came to life and came out of their tombs and wandered into Jerusalem. Okay, well, what's Jerusalem? Jerusalem is this big city, even in today, in Israel. Well, what's in a city, especially, well, that time and today? People. There are tons of people. So if people are feeling the earthquake, and then they look where the tombs are, or they're seeing people coming out from where the tombs are, and they are saints, yes, people are going to notice and be eyewitnesses of these supposedly saints who they more than likely recognize, knowing that, hey, they were dead. They're right there now. They are going to know and report, hey, this is what we saw. These people are not supposed to be alive, yet they are alive and they are wandering out of their tombs. So eyewitnesses, but yet a lot of atheists do not consider eyewitnesses a valuable source. They don't consider it good enough. More on that later in this stream, in this live streaming. So I'm looking at the time, still good, but he's saying that there's zero evidence, and the Bible gives it clear where the evidence is. The people who were there, who saw it, eyewitness testimonies. Let me see. He keeps going on. That's not natural or normal, and it's pretty much the opposite of common. Of course, we have absolutely zero evidence. Okay, he's saying that is not natural or normal. Well, in the Bible and science even proves stuff that's not normal. But in the Bible, there are many things that are not natural and normal. This makes God God. He can do things that are not natural, that are not normal. He's outside of the laws of nature, of physics. He can bypass those laws, things that we in this world have to abide by and continue to live by, because we are not outside of those laws. God, being outside of those laws, can do what he wants. And the Bible, loud vehicle, it always passes by. The Bible, it's filled with many things that are not natural. They're not natural. And science a lot of times confirms things that are not natural. One of the biggest things is the universe. The universe was created. It was created. If it's created, there has to be a creator. But the universe was created. The universe had a beginning, and it had a time where it did not exist, and then it came into existence. Some people still feel that it was the Big Bang. I believe that it could have been the Big Bang. The Big Bang makes sense to me, that the universe was created through a Big Bang, but someone outside of time, space, matter had to initiate it, had to initiate the universe coming into existence. And there's laws of the universe. And if any of these laws were off just by a thread, everything would collapse. And laws don't come into existence by themselves. Someone creates laws. We see it all the time in government. So when he's saying that that's not natural, how often have you seen a universe being created? You look up in the sky. Oh, there's another universe. There's another universe. Oh, this is just natural. Universes are created all the time. No, it is unnatural that this happens. Yet we can look up in the sky. We can look at the stars, look in telescopes and see, hey, there is a universe out there. That this is not natural. Another thing that's not natural is life on planets. I mean, name one other planet that has life other than Earth? There is none. We don't know any. I mean, we have speculations and stuff, but we don't have any any other planets that we know of that have life. Now, scientists believe that Titan, one of Jupiter's moons, has life. They say that it has water underneath the ice, but and then they speculate that there could be life under there, but they don't know. They don't know. So the fact that Earth is perfect in the right spot and has everything for life to exist, and life does exist, is also unnatural. Another thing being the the ocean. Scientists used to speculate that the sunlight could only go so far in the ocean, and once it reached a certain point where it was too deep for the sunlight to penetrate, to go, scientists speculated, okay, life cannot exist that far down because the sunlight does not go that far down, and of course everyone knows life needs the sun, and the sun gives the living things the protein, the nutrients, things that they need to survive. Uh, but they were wrong. They were wrong. There's heat vents down into the ocean, and these heat vents. Hold on. Address comment to see question coming. Okay, yeah, I see the questions, but I'll get to them. I'll get to them. But anyway, yeah, there's heat vents in the ocean, and it makes it warm enough where life does exist, and that is even unnatural. That is not natural. So when he says that's not natural or normal. Yeah, there's a lot of things in the Bible that are not natural or normal. That's because God is God. And a lot of things that science has confirmed that's also not natural or normal, but yet it is the scientific fact. All right, so then he puts what I said in the video, says, and there is plenty of evidence proving that the resurrection of Jesus happened. He asks, is there? Then how about one specific example? How about one piece of good evidence, specific enough and in enough detail that I can judge it for myself, that the resurrection of Jesus actually happened? Or heck, that any of the magical supernatural stories in the Bible actually happened? Your choice. Well, I have been making a lot of videos showing archaeological evidence that has been found, that the Bible talks about, that certain events in the Bible is written down, recorded, and archaeologists have found archaeological evidence seeing that these sites truly did exist. These cities did exist. I could put some in the comments down below. There's that. There's archaeological evidence. The Bible talks about stuff, and then they are finding evidence proving that the city, the kingdom, the event actually happened. Amazing stuff. It really fascinates me. So I saw your comment there, Sleazy. Youth pastor for sure. Broken heart. I don't know. Pretty cool comment. That got my attention. So yeah. So I'll give the evidence. I'll give the evidence. I'm not going to just be like, well, I'm not sure if you will even believe the evidence if I give it to you. So no, I'm moving on. No. You want evidence? I can tell you some evidence. Like I said, I can share some with the videos in the comments below, and you can see for yourself. But I got some notes here that proves that the Bible is real. That proves, it's factual. Okay, so first, space, matter, time had a beginning, and we know this because in 1929, Edward Hubble, which some of you probably know who he is. The name sounds familiar. The Hubble telescope was named after him. Edward Hubble discovered that the universe was expanding, and he realized that if we could rewind time, it would get smaller and smaller and smaller until a point it had a beginning, that it was created. Now, many scientists tried to disprove him on his findings, including Albert Einstein, believe it or not, but they all came to the same conclusion. They all saw, yes, the universe had a beginning. It had a beginning. It's continued to expand, and it will continue to expand throughout the years. And if we could rewind time, it wouldn't expand. We'd be seeing it getting smaller until a point it had a beginning. So space, matter, and time had a beginning out, and many even atheists believe that it had a beginning, and it came from nothing. It came from nothing. There was no chemicals or energy or protein or anything out there that made it exist. No, There was nothing, and then suddenly the universe suddenly existed. And this is where I believe in the Big Bang Theory, because I believe that it happened because, okay, you have an atomic bomb, right? It explodes. What are you going to see? You're just going to see the energy of that bomb getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until the energy runs out. And then it's going to stop getting big. It's going to stop getting bigger and bigger. But we know that it continues to get big because of the energy that's in it. The universe expanding shows just how magnificent God's energy is. It's so magnificent. It's still going. It's still expanding, just like a bomb would that is filled with energy, and it just keeps getting bigger. So that is why I believe in the Big Bang. I can be wrong, but it is a good source that proves that, hey, it might have happened that way. And so, space, matter, time had a beginning. If it has a beginning out of nothing, then something outside of space, time, and matter had to create it. Again, we see that the universe is created. Many scientists, even atheists, believe that yes, it came from nothing. It was created. And again, if something is created, it has to have a creator. When there's evidence that it was created, so something outside of space, time, and matter had to do that. When we think of a creator that is spaceless, timeless, immaterial, powerful, personal, and intelligent, who is it that we usually start thinking of? God. Now, this doesn't mean that it's Christian God. We're not there yet, but definitely we think of God when we think of a person that has those descriptions of spaceless, timeless, immaterial, powerful, and personal, and intelligent. And if God can create the universe and everything in it, can't he do what he wants with it? Yes. Yes. He can do whatever he wants with it. He can walk on water. He can control the storms, control the wind. If it's storming, he can tell the wind to stop and it will stop. He can, like I said, walk on water. He can resurrect Jesus from the dead. So, I would say if the universe points to having a beginning and it was created, which it does, then there has to be a creator outside of space, time, and matter. And if he is outside of space, time, and matter, he can do what he wants with it. Anything. I'm going to turn the page here with my notes. So, and then I think I just read the next part. I just said it. And one other thing that the resurrection of Jesus is true is the Pharisees had the power to stop Christianity if Jesus did not resurrect. If Jesus was not resurrected. If Jesus was not resurrected, the Pharisees could have stopped it anytime they wanted, including right in the beginning, right when Christianity was taking off. People were starting to hear about these Christians. Hey, do you know about these Christians? The people who follow this Jesus guy, supposedly he was resurrected. Supposedly he died and was resurrected. The Pharisees could have stopped it right there, before Christianity went into all of the world. How, you ask? I'm sure many of you are wondering how could he have stopped this? Or how could they have stopped this? Because if Jesus truly didn't resurrect from the dead, all they had to do was open the tomb and show everybody, here you go, here's your Savior, he's still there, he's still in the tomb. I mean, it would have been that easy, that simple. Because they did not want people to follow Jesus. This is the reason they put him to death, so he would stop and people would just move on with life, and he would eventually be a forgotten name. Because let me ask, why would Jews? I'm reading my notes here. Why would Jews invent a resurrection person, a person who was resurrected from the dead? Why would they invent a person claiming to be God? Because back in those days, claiming to be God was blasphemy. We see this in John chapter 8, verse 58, when Jesus says, "Before Abraham was, I am." What he's doing is he's referencing what God said to Moses. Moses asked God, "Who shall I say sent me?" And he says, "Tell them I am that I am sent you." I heard in the Jewish language, this is Yahweh. But God tells Moses, "I am that I am." And here Jesus is telling the Pharisees, before Abraham was, "I am." The Pharisees don't have to guess what he's saying. They know what he's saying. He's claiming to be God. And that's why the next part, they pick up rocks and they start to try to stone him. They try to stone Jesus because it was blasphemy. They couldn't, a person couldn't claim to be God, and they tried to stone Jesus right then and there. So why would the Jews try to invent someone who's claiming to be God when it was blasphemy to claim to be God? And the Jews, they felt that they were chosen. They knew that they were the chosen people by God, so they felt that they were saved. They were saved. They were saved because God had chosen them. Out of all the world, they were chosen by God. This explains why they got in a lot of trouble throughout the Bible, and they felt that because they were the chosen people of God, they can do what they wanted. But of course, we read many times in the book of Jeremiah, Daniel, many parts of the Bible, God had judged them. But they felt because they were chosen, they could do what they wanted. They were already saved. So why invent someone like Jesus to go against that, especially if he could be stoned to death? So it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But my question to this guy is, whether he accepts what I just said or not, would he be able to open his mind and heart to Christianity? If Christianity were true, would he become a Christian? If the answer is yes, then continue to look for more evidence. Prove that the Bible is real. If the answer is no, then it's obvious he is closed to it. He is closed-minded to it. His heart is closed to it. He doesn't want anything to do with it, which makes it hard to understand. If your eyes and ears are closed to something, anything, you're not going to understand it. I watched this video recently. I'm going to make a TikTok video about it. These kids, they were little kids, and they were talking about Bible and science, and said that it's either Bible or science. And then they said, well, what if the Bible and science go together? And they started to explain how the Bible is true and science proves the Bible. These are little kids that could understand it. They are able to understand it. Their hearts and minds are open to God, and they, for kids, are very, very knowledgeable, more knowledgeable than some adults. But these adults have closed their minds and hearts, so they do not want to know anything about it. And then when you explain the evidence, of course they're not going to understand it. So what if what I just said, this person in the comments I'm reading doesn't understand, doesn't accept it? It's like, well, would you be willing to open your mind and heart to God, to Jesus, so you can understand it? If he does, well, then great. He just took a step forward in a better direction in life, and he's going to see that it was the best decision he's ever made. Basically, it's like this. If you go in with an open mind and an open heart to learn about God, you come in with nothing. But if it's not real, then you leave with nothing. But, so what's the problem? But if you have an open mind and heart to Jesus, to the Bible, and you come in with nothing, you're going to leave with the best. You're going to leave this world with the best Savior, the best mentor, the best teacher ever. And you'll love that you chose that. So, that's my question to him. Still got some time, but we are getting close to the time being out. I want to keep this under an hour. So after this video, I can then post it on TikTok. So, anyone who wants to watch it later, they can watch it. Let me see. So where was I? My screensaver came on. Let me go back. All right. It's easy to make a vague claim about plenty of evidence. Claims are easy. That's why every religion makes claims. Not just your own, and the vaguer they are, the easier they are to make. But can you back up the claim with even one specific example? If I can judge for myself. Let me read that again. Not the whole thing, but can you back up the claim with even one specific example? I think we just did that, actually. All right. So let me see. Do you have faith? Okay, so now he's putting something that I put down. Do you have faith the size of a mustard seed? So we can tell this mountain to move from here to there, and it will. So then he asks me, he says, so how about it? Do you have faith the size of a mustard seed? Can you move a mountain then? You were arguing against Mormons, but that's an argument against Christianity, isn't it? Okay, so we'll start with the first thing he asked. He said, so how about it? Do you have faith the size of a mustard seed? Can you have a mountain move? Can you move a mountain then? Uh, I kind of feel like he is, provoking, kind of like taking a stick, use this pen as a stick, he's kind of like, come on, come on. Do you have faith the size of a mustard seed? Come on, come on. Move the mountain, move the mountain. He's not understanding the context of what Jesus is saying here. Now, do I believe I can move a mountain with the faith the size of a mustard seed? I can do anything and all things through Christ. Am I going to do it? Well, no. And then I feel that it's going to be testing the Lord. And the Bible specifically says, thou shalt not test the Lord. So it probably won't work. And then when I go to heaven, I'll be asking God, why couldn't I move that mountain? God will be like, you know as well as I do. Don't test me. So I'm not going to try. But the context of that scripture, what Jesus is saying, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, basically what he is saying is nothing will be impossible for you. And we use terms like this all the time. We use sayings like this all the time. Like such as, if you can dream it, you can do it. I've also heard if you can dream it, you can build it. What am I going to do? Tell someone who has this passion to open a business, a restaurant? What am I going to say? Oh, wait, did you dream about it? I mean, if you haven't dreamed about it, you can't do it. But, go back to sleep. And when you finally have that dream, you can do it. No. We know what that means. If you can dream it, you can do it. Basically saying, if you have the dream, execute on this dream, turn this dream into reality. If you have the dream, nothing is impossible. You can do it. Also, the saying is all uphill from here, meaning now things are going to get, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of a movie. It's all downhill from here, meaning, going uphill is hard. It's very hard, but, it's easy going downhill. And when you're done with all your troubles and all, problems that you were having at work or with a job or a relationship, the expression people say, well, it's all downhill from here, meaning it's going to get easier now. Things are easy now. I mean, again, what am I supposed to say to a person, or was a person supposed to say to me? Oh, well, you have to find a hill first. Once you do, you go down it. Then you're going to start seeing things are going to get easier because now you're going downhill. It's all downhill from here. No, again, it's an expression, and this is what Jesus is saying when he's saying if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can tell this mountain to go from here to there. You can move this mountain from here to there, and it will. He is saying that nothing will be impossible. You don't need this much faith to do the impossible. You just need a little. You just need a little bit of faith. And he gives a description of how much little you need. The size of a mustard seed. It's all you need, and anything is possible. So, yeah, he didn't read the content. He's not understanding the context on that. Let me see. I think I got ahead. Okay, so then he goes on. Let me scroll down a little bit. I'm kind of losing my place here. Oh, yes. And then the second part, he says, he says, can you move a mountain then? Oh, yeah, he says, you are arguing against Mormons, but that's an argument against Christianity, isn't it? No. Christianity and Mormonism are two different religions. This is exactly why the Mormons have their own book. Do they read from the Bible? Yes. Do they study it? Yes. But they usually like to compare or contrast the Holy Bible with their Bible. They look at the two, see how it's similar, how it's not similar, why their Bible is true, why their religion is true. They believe this is why Joseph Smith had a vision of Jesus and God. The two came to him, and they gave him some golden plates with inscriptions on it, and he couldn't read it. So God gave him some glasses, and he was able to read the inscriptions on it. He wrote it down. God and Jesus gave or took the plates back to heaven, and he made some replicas of the plates, which can be found, I believe, in Salt Lake City, Utah. Uh, but the thing is anyone can make anything out of gold. I mean, I can have gold and I could melt the gold and make them into plates and put inscription on them. I mean, honestly, if I did that today, if I've made some plates, some golden plates, put some inscription on it that said this is from God. I went to Mormons and I said, look, God gave me some more stuff, stuff he forgot to give to Joseph Smith. I highly doubt the Mormons would believe me. Why they believe Joseph Smith, I don't know. I don't know. But, and another thing that doesn't make sense to me is, okay, Jesus healed people. He spat on the dirt and then he rubbed the dirt in the person's eyes and he was healed. He didn't need any special gadgets, like glasses or anything. So why does Joseph Smith need glasses for this? I mean, just change his eyesight where he can read it. Again, with God, you can do anything, but yet with Joseph Smith, he needed glasses. One documentary I really suggest a lot of people watch, and it's free. You can even find it on YouTube, is The Holy Bible versus Joseph Smith. And it's about this biblical scholar talking to this Mormon professor, and he is showing the Mormon professor why Mormonism is false, and it's not the same as Christianity. Amazing video. It'll definitely get you thinking and showing you that the two are different. I had a friend whose father was a Mormon, or is a Mormon, and he was trying to tell her to join Mormonism, trying to get her to be a Mormon. She showed him this video, or that documentary, The Holy Bible versus Joseph Smith, and the dad never pressured her to join Mormonism again, or Latter-day Saints as they call themselves. He remained in the religion. My guess is because he had a lot of friends there. If you're in the Latter-day Saints, you will make a lot of friends. You'll make a lot of friends with people. Same with Jehovah's Witnesses. But if you leave it, then all of a sudden they're not your friends. They don't want to associate with you. They don't even want to talk to you. I've heard some Jehovah's Witnesses churches, if you want to get back into the religion, you have to go into this room where you can see through the glass and you can see the pastor preaching, but you can't talk to anybody. You have to stay in that room, and people, they can see you through the glass, but they can't associate with you. Honestly, that kind of reminds me of some kind of show. The parents telling their kids, yeah, you see that? That's why you don't ever want to leave the religion. That'll be you in there. It's kind of like a zoo, except with people looking at people. I have heard that there are some Jehovah's Witnesses church like that, and very sad, very sad. But it definitely shows that it's not Christianity. I mean, Jesus, it says he ate with the sinners and tax collectors, which were all sinners. I mean, honestly, I should say that he ate with sinners, but tax collectors were looked down even worse than sinners. If you were a sinner, that was bad. But if you were a tax collector, the Jews, they looked down even worse at you than if you were just a sinner. So that's why it says sinners and tax collectors. Let me keep going. He put what I said. It's in the title, the evolutionary theory, indicating it's not a scientific fact, and it's not a scientific fact. The evolutionary theory is a theory. That's why it's called a theory. He disagreed. He said, no, sorry, that's not true. According to biologists, it's a theory and a fact. Those things that aren't mutually exclusive. Theory is the best as it gets in science. That's because science is always open to revision. If new evidence indicates the existing thinking was wrong or just incomplete in some way, technically every finding of science is tentative, and that's strength of science, not a weakness. And I disagree with that. He's saying that it is both a theory and a fact. Okay, that's like me saying I am the smartest man in the world right now. I am the smartest man on TikTok right now. Every person that you have watched on TikTok is not as smart as me. I'm the smartest man. And that is both a theory and a fact. You guys would be laughing at me. Honestly, I'm kind of laughing at it. You'd be saying, okay, all right, Mr. Smart ass, Mr. Smart Pants, prove it. Go ahead, prove that you're the smartest man. Why? Because if I can prove it, then it's not a theory, it's a fact. And yes, science is open to interpretation or revision. How do you put it? He said, can't find it right now. Lost it. Says existing thinking. Science is always open to revision. Yes, science is open to revision. This is why science changes. But we can see that God has never changed. The Bible hasn't changed. No, it has remained the same, and it continues to stay the same. Nothing needs to be changed. But science does change. So yeah, I have to disagree with him on saying it's both a science and a fact. You know, that's like me saying I'm the strongest man. That's both a science and a fact. I'm going to take a little break. It says, I'll read a comment. It says, are you thankful that Christians are incapable of thanking their God for all that he has done? I thank God every day. Every day I wake up. I thank God. If you always got to switch up LBJ, LBJ, do you not want to best at it? I don't know what you mean by the LBJ. Are you thankful that God afflicted people with boils, survey, and itch in Deuteronomy 28:27? I think I see what you're saying there. Deuteronomy, let's go to Deuteronomy 28:27. Let's see what you're saying. Deuteronomy 28:27. 28:27. I just want to make sure it's the verse I'm thinking of. I know what you're talking about. Let me see. Computer is like running a little slow right now. The Lord will strike you with the boils of Egypt, and with turmoils and scrapes and the itch with which you cannot be healed. It's saying that what the Lord will do. It doesn't say that he would. He did do it. Let me go to something else here. Let me see, 28:27, right? You said 28:27. Just kind of looking. It's weird. It's like I can find this all the time. Let me see, 28:27. The Lord will strike you with madness and blindness. So look on. The Lord will strike you with the boils of Egypt, and with the tumors of the scraps of itch, which you cannot be healed. The Lord will strike you with madness, blindness, confusion of mind, and you shall grope in noonday as the blind of the darkness, and you shall prosper in your ways. Well, trying to find a better reference. The Lord will cause you to be defeated before your enemy. Curses of the disobedience. Okay, yeah, this is what I thought it was. This is what I was looking for. God is warning the Israelites of the disobedience, but if you will not obey the voice of the Lord your God, or be careful to do all his commandments and his status that I commanded you today, then all those curses shall come upon you. So he's warning them, if you disobey me, this is what's going to happen. It's judgment. It's like punishment. You know, your parents tell you, hey, if you keep acting up, you're gonna get a good spanking. You're gonna get a good slap. You know, and man, it sounds like, okay, yeah, right. But when it happens, it's one of the worst things ever. Man, it's one of the worst things ever. But you know, the Israelites, like I said earlier, they thought that they could do what they wanted because they were chosen by God. But God even told them, hey, there are certain rules that you even have to follow. Just because I have chosen you doesn't mean you're above everything and everyone. God was still showing them to be loving, to be humble. But of course, they thought they could do what they wanted. Can't see what it says. The host can't answer. Well, I didn't see the question. Christians are incapable of thanking their own God. Now, like I said, I always wake up every day and I think God. I thank God. So I don't know what you're saying. So anyway, I just wanted to get to some replies there, some comments there. Just kind of mix it up a little bit, but I'm going to go back to the comments of this guy. I only have about 12 minutes left. Okay, so then he says, in the real world, it seems clear to me that nothing can be proven such that we couldn't possibly be wrong. Proofs are artificial systems of logic and mathematics, not of the real world. It might be highly improbable, probable, or even downright silly, but there is always an alternative explanation. We can't entirely rule out if you believe in an all-knowing or powerful God. That should be obvious to you, shouldn't it? I like what he says. In the real world, it seems clear to me that nothing can be proven, such as that we couldn't possibly be wrong. Proofs are so nothing can be proven. So, I mean, he can say that I'm wrong. Well, I guess in the real world, nothing can be proven, right? that's my response to him on that. Excuse me on that. Okay, so note the heliocentrism is also scientific theory. That doesn't mean it isn't a fact that the planets revolve around the sun. No, that is a fact. I mean, you ask any scientist, especially any astronomer, about the planets and the sun, they will tell you it is a fact that the planets evolve around the sun. So I don't know where he's going on that one. The germ theory of disease is also a scientific theory. That doesn't mean it is not a fact that some germs cause disease. No, you're mistaken about that. Yes, some germs cause diseases, but it is a fact that certain germs cause diseases. Scientists are not trying to study how to have the immune system fight against some other life form. No, scientists know what causes diseases. They know it's certain bacteria, there's certain germs, and then they try to my phone is making some noises. They try to find a way to fight against that germ, against that bacteria. So, it is a scientific fact that certain germs do cause illnesses and diseases. He goes on, he says, now evolution is biology. It's science, not religion. I'm not a biologist myself, so you'll need to argue against a biologist if you don't accept or even understand the worldwide scientific consensus in biology. For myself, I accept it tentatively because it is the worldwide scientific consensus. It's the foundation of modern biology. In fact, of course, I don't have a religious reason to reject reality. Some people do, or think they do at least. Okay, so now he's jumping shift to religion. I'm sorry, to evolution. What he has to understand about evolution is, let me see if I can find it here. I had my notes here, but I have so much open right now. Let me see. Trying to figure out where I left that note. But, okay, basically this is taking too long. Charles Darwin, he felt that through we would eventually find the missing pieces of the bones of animals, of dinosaurs, from when they evolved from what they were to what they evolved to today. But there's a missing link there, and he said in time we will find these bones and it'll prove that evolution is real. We haven't found those missing links. Paleontologists have not found anything that links a Tyrannosaurus to an alligator. They found a lot of bones, and they're thinking this could have went from a Tyrannosaurus to what it is today. But there's still a lot of missing bones that prove it didn't happen, and they're still looking. Hey, they may find them. But as for now, no. A lot of what animals are, and what the Bible says God created them as, they have stayed in their kind. It says God has created the animals according to their kind. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Animals they're staying in their kind. The scientists have bred a tiger and a lion, or a lion and a tiger, and it's called a liger. If it's a tiger and a lion, it's called a tigon or something like that. But it's still in its kind. It's still a feline. So, evolution has not been proven, but more of the Bible has been proven. I heard that they found dinosaur bones and they still have skin, even blood on it. How could an animal that has been extinct for 66 million years ago have skin on it? Yeah, look that up. That is crazy. Even I didn't believe that, but I was seeing more and more reports that dinosaurs are being found with skin still attached, with blood still attached. Who knows? Maybe Jurassic Park will be a thing, and they will clone them, we'll see. But then again, as Jeff Goldblum said in Jurassic Park, scientists were so preoccupied on knowing if they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. That I feel will happen in real life. Says, note that evolution doesn't affect my atheism in the slightest. If it did turn out to be wrong, then biologists would be the first to discover that and consensus would change. Oh, sounds like he's having, what is it called? Faith. Faith in something. He's having faith in believing in something. Yeah, isn't that interesting? You can't have faith in God, can't have faith in Jesus, but he's having faith that biologists will find it, correct it, and change it. I no more expect that to happen than I expect scientists to discover that heliocentrism is the germ theory of the disease, or wrong, incomplete, maybe. But if that did happen, it wouldn't affect my atheism in the slightest. Why would it? I don't know. I don't know. Why would it? That's very interesting. Actually, I'm kind of amazed that I finished it. I think there was something I missed. No. Let me see. Of course, all of you have excuses. I'm sure Christians have excuses. Mormons have excuses. Muslims have excuses. He's just going on about how we have excuses, but excuses is what you can't prove. You say something, then you can't prove it. And I'm talking about many things that in this live event that can be proven and has been proven. I mean, you can do the research yourself. It's amazing how atheism a lot of times don't want to do much research, but man, they want to criticize. And as I said earlier, they believe that eyewitness testimony doesn't count. I had an atheist tell me that eyewitness accounts in the Bible, that doesn't count. Eyewitness testimonies doesn't count. And I replied to her, I said, it's amazing how when it comes to the Bible, eyewitness testimonies don't count. But if someone assaulted you, attacked you, robbed you, there were 5 people that saw it, oh yeah, you for sure would count those eyewitnesses, especially if it went to court. If it went to court and the prosecutor, the other lawyer who's trying to defend the person who attacked you, or his defense attorney, they would first be calling eyewitnesses. Your defense attorney would be calling eyewitnesses. Yeah, then it would count. But when it comes to the Bible, no, it doesn't count. No, let's disregard that. So it's amazing how hypocritical that can be. So, I just want to go back. I think okay, we talked about the mustard seed there. Now he's talking about theory there. Oh, okay. Okay, that's it. Honestly, I think I just went a little too much explanation on the first video that I posted on YouTube. But this one, actually, we still have 4 minutes left. I'm looking at the comments, seeing if there's anything. Looks like the atheists stopped. One of them kept saying, "It's amazing that Christians can't thank their God." And like I said, every day, every morning before when I'm drinking that coffee, I'm sitting there on the couch and I am thanking God. So I don't know. I don't know what she was talking about. Let me see. Yeah, and it says the host can't answer, but I didn't see what the question was. So how can I answer if I don't see? Let's see. Hold on. No. Okay. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the questions, even the atheists who put the comments down there. Still, thank you for helping this channel. you are helping this channel when you are tuning in and you are commenting. So thank you very much. And God bless. And I will see you again very soon.